Finally, the last thing I'd like to share is a little unit here on anatomy. And so for anatomy, we're not going to go through a lot of this, but we're going to talk about mostly the brain. But in the peripheral nervous system, we often talk about the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And the big thing we do in health psychology is we talk about the flight or fight response when people are facing emergencies. That's usually the sympathetic nervous system when you're facing emergencies. So you have the pupil dilation, you have the heartbeat increase, you have energy coming up. That's for the flight or fight. And when your body is in a relaxation state, you're getting things going on with the GI tract, so it stimulates peristalsis and secretion, bile, so it's during the kind of the resting state of your body. Finally, most importantly, the central nervous system. So we got to go over some structures in the brain. So it starts out in the hindbrain, that there are a couple of key structures I wanted to share with you. We have the cerebellum, that's in charge of motoric function. The cerebellum is posture and movement is what it's focused on. This is the study of neuroanatomy. The medulla is the area in charge of breathing and respiration. I actually call it and sneezing. There's some eating connections down there as well. The pons is for sleep and arousal. You don't have to know the reticular formation. So an easy mnemonic for the hindbrains is CHAMP, C-H-A-M-P. So the C is cerebellum, H is the hindbrain, A is nothing, medulla, and pons. The midbrain. A couple of key structures in the midbrain. One is the substantia nigra. That is the structure that is implicated with Parkinson's disease. A lot of dopamine up there. Another structure is the superior colliculus. That's actually in charge of eye movements. And then the third structure is in the previous presentation, the periaqueductal gray. That contains 80% of your brain's endorphins. That's obviously involved in pain and pleasure. So you have the hindbrain, you have the midbrain, and then in the forebrain, there's some key structures up in the forebrain. You've basically got the subcortical regions. That includes the hippocampus, amygdala, hypothalamus, and thalamus. The hippocampus, what does the hippocampus do? Oh wait, that's memory. Yeah, ha ha ha. So the hippocampus is in charge of memory. The amygdala is kind of aggression and emotion. The hypothalamus controls the pituitary gland, so it's in charge of eating, drinking, sexuality, body temperature, and the thalamus is actually the relay station of the brain. Any incoming information, visual, acoustic, goes to your thalamus first. So those are the subcortical areas. The other key areas are your lobes. And they're basically 4 lobes. We've got the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is in charge of higher cortical activities, thinking, processing, and attention. In the very back of the frontal lobe is the motor cortex to be in charge of movement. The next lobe is the occipital lobe. Occipital lobe is in charge of vision. Temporal lobe is in charge of acoustics and hearing. And the parietal lobe is in charge actually of touch areas, so touch perception. So you need to know the 4 different lobes, what they control. This is the study of neuroanatomy, and hopefully that'll complete our version. Thank you. Bye-bye.